Not everything that brings money brings meaning, and not everything that brings meaning fits easily into the logic of the world. That is why speaking about vocation is not always simple. Because vocation is not only a job, it is not only a profession, it is not only something you are good at. Vocation has something deeper. It has to do with what moves you internally, with what awakens your attention in a different way, with what you return to, even when there is no applause, recognition, or immediate reward. And even so, many people spend a large part of their lives disconnected from that dimension. Sometimes because they never had the space to ask themselves about it. Sometimes because they learned that what mattered was being useful, productive, or compliant. And sometimes because they confused vocation with success, and meaning with performance, but they are not the same. You can have a life that looks successful, and still feel empty. And you can also be on a more uncertain path, and still feel that something inside you is alive. Then, an important difference appears. Vocation does not always give you immediate security, but it often gives you inner direction. It does not always solve every doubt, but it can make one part of your life feel more true. Because when something connects with your vocation, you do not just do it, you inhabit it differently, with more presence, with more involvement, with a different kind of energy. Not because everything becomes easy, but because you feel that something there belongs to you, something that expresses you, something that calls you, something that in some way puts you in order inside. Here is a key idea. Vocation is not only about finding what you want to dedicate yourself to, it is about recognizing what gives meaning to the way you exist in the world. And that can appear in many places. In a profession, yes, but also in a way of helping, in a way of creating, in a particular sensitivity, in a cause that matters to you, in a way of caring, teaching, accompanying, or building. That is why vocation is not always discovered as a fixed answer. Sometimes it is first felt as an intuition, as an inclination, as a persistent curiosity, as a sense of connection with something you cannot fully explain, but that feels true. And to hear that, something is needed, that is not always abundant. Silence. Because when you are constantly reacting to external demands, it becomes difficult to hear what truly moves you. Vocation needs space, attention, honesty, and also courage. Because accepting what truly matters to you may force you to review decisions, habits, or paths that until now seemed normal. Then necessary questions begin to appear. What activities make me feel more alive inside? Am I building a life connected to something that gives me meaning? Have I confused vocation with recognition, or meaning with productivity? This episode does not seek to idealize vocation. It seeks to remind you that a meaningful life is not always born from doing more. Sometimes it is born from moving closer to what truly calls you. Because not every purpose is found in great achievements. Sometimes it is also found in what, when you do it, brings you back to yourself. If this content brings you value, you can support the project by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. That way, we continue building this space of reflection, awareness, and growth together. This is not only about finding something to do, it is about discovering what gives meaning to the way you live. See you in the next episode.